Hello, all my human design explorers. My name is Blake. I'm here with your human design education, and today we're going to talk about projectors. That's what I am. I'm actually a projector, so one of the things about human design is that you're here to know thyself. You know, that's why I always say, you know, who doesn't love themselves more than themselves? But also, especially for projectors, one of the hardest things to understand is that this is a generator world. There's 70% of them. There's 20% of us, 20 some odd percent of us. And in this world, it's about go, 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 go. And that's not a projector's way. We're not here to build the pyramids. We're not here to design them either. We're here to lead, guide, and direct energy from a certain time, a few hundred years ago. And we're like the new type. There used to be just manifestors and generators type of thing, and the manifestors would be like the kings or the generals of the armies, and the generators were the soldiers and the builders. And that was a time of like teams and, building megalithic stuff. And, so basically with the projectors and overall projectors that were non-energy types. So that was one of the hardest parts for me growing up, was that I had a dad and a brother that I lived with, and they're both manifesting generators. So they had tons of energy. They were out at night. As soon as they laid their head on that pillow, they were out. And they woke up at 5, the rooster crowing, and they were right to work. My brother would get out of his bed, crack his neck, and be out the door before I could even open my eyes. One of the hardest things for projectors is living in this generator world, and it's not a burden or anything. We're here, we're all part of it. It's just that the generators are the gasoline of the engine. We just happen to be the steering wheel. And it's hard to understand that. And once you understand that, if you're a projector, once you understand why it seems like the world's just going haywire around you and like just in a hurry, you'll understand that your type isn't to do that. Some people can get built up, some projectors can get built up, like, why can't I keep up? Well, how come I'm so tired? Why do I gotta take a nap? Why? That's how I felt my whole life. They used to call me Pokey. My dad and my brother would just be like, you're so lazy, you're so slow, let's go to breakfast. Everybody's in the car. I'm the last one every time. Because I'm just walking, I'm checking everything out, I'm looking at the world, I'm enjoying the moment. Generators like, we're going to breakfast, that means we gotta go. Most of the time. Not all generators, there's different gates and stuff that respond to different things, but for the most part, generators are the worker bees, the worker ants. Projectors, we're here to lead, guide, and direct that energy, but only when we're invited. So this can get real complicated with some people. To be invited means that somebody has to recognize you. Okay, and you'll understand once you get into human design, projectors, to know who recognizes you, it's whoever listens to you. Whoever gives you the invitation to speak. A lot of the time, as a projector, I didn't understand growing up, I just thought people ignored each other. I never ignored anybody. I hold on to everybody's words like they're gold, and when I talk to my brother, my father, most of the people at school that were generators, as I get older, I'm starting to understand the generator thing. I'll speak a whole life story. I'll speak the best piece of advice that they could ever get. And they'll look at me and be like, did you know today's Tuesday? Just because I initiated without an invitation. So does this sound familiar to most of you projectors out there? You'll just speak something like gold. You'll hand them gold, and they'll just look up at you and say, "Hey, let's go to Starbucks." And you're like, "Wait, I just poured my heart out on you." And that's what you're supposed to do. But that means, one, that person doesn't recognize you, and that they didn't give you the invitation. So it's really, really hard, especially for energy projectors. There's 3 different types. There's mental, there's energy, and then there's classic projectors, and they're all very different from each other. Energy projectors, which is what I am, have a very hard time corking the bottle. I just gotta give advice. And I was never listened to growing up, and I just never understood it. Why is everybody ignoring me? I'll be in a room full of generators, and we'll be sitting there, and I'll say, "Who wants to go to the park?" Nobody says a thing, but about 5 seconds, 10 seconds later, there'll be a generator over here go, "Hey, anybody want to go to the park?" And everybody's like, "Yeah, great idea." It's real strange how they can't listen. They can't even hear you, projectors, unless you have the invitation. Now, to get the invitation, you have to be recognized. Now, how are you recognized? The best way to do that is to master a system. Okay? Now, the way you do that is find what you love to do. You're not here to work. Let me say that one more time for all the projectors and for the generators in the back of the room that can't hear me. Projectors are not here to work. We're here to be successful, but that's when we lead, guide, and direct the energy. So basically, you have to find some type of system, okay? The way I did it, I grew up in California surfing. I know that doesn't sound like much, but I got really good really fast. And so people recognized that. And so they would come up and ask me questions. "Hey man, how do you get this turn up? How do you do this? What kind of board you got? Da-da-da-da-da." You know, I was recognized. And then right then and there, that's an invitation. "Hey man, what kind of board do you have?" Bam, invitation. My aura, which is like a knife. Projectors. We do spiritual surgery on other people. And that's why we need the invitation. You can't just go doing surgery on people without being invited. You have to have that invitation. So another thing that I do is human design. I put these videos up. If a generator or a projector, anybody comes by these, that's them inviting me. "Hey man, I had a question." Bam, invitation. They recognize me that I know because I study the design. This is a system. It's the human design system. So I'm studying that, and that's one way I can be recognized. People are like, "Hey, guy knows his stuff. I'm going to ask him a question." Bam, you open up a galaxy. And once you're actually recognized and invited, you are then heard. And you know, they can't, it's like you can't run the slot machine unless you get a quarter in there. But you got to figure out how to get that quarter. You got to go earn that quarter to get the recognition. So find a way that gets you recognized. I do fire spinning at music festivals and stuff like that. I love it. It's amazing. But it gets people talking to me. You're not supposed to initiate, because if you initiate, you're going to run into what projectors find the most in life when they don't understand their design is bitterness. Okay, so you could walk in and that's where your ideas get stolen, kind of like my idea to go to the park. That's when you're not recognized, never heard, and it just makes you bitter. And there's a better way, and that way is for you to figure out what makes you happy. Okay, for me it was surfing. I love human design. I like fire spinning. I write books. I do blogs, video logs. I do all kinds of stuff that gets people wanting to be around me. And it's not, I want to be the most popular. It's, I do this stuff and people recognize it. When I see something where people are always looking, like when I'm at music festivals, I stop and there's the fire spinners, so I start fire spinning. It gets people looking at you, not like a, "Hey, look at me." It's a, "Hey man, I can help you out, but I can't do it unless you ask. So I'm going to find a bunch of different ways to put up signs so that you can ask me how to give you advice, because that's my purpose. My purpose isn't here to work. My purpose is to guide you. And projectors can guide other projectors. We do it all the time. I got projector pages where we're just constantly guiding each other, and you can set out your invitations, or you can, another way you can get an invitation is, you want somebody to actually hear you? Ask, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" Bam, that's asking for them to give you an invitation. It works. It's better to be recognized first, and you'll know in life who recognizes you. It's one of the biggest things. In my life, I have people that are all about me, okay? Just like I'm all about them. You know, a lot of times projectors will be all about people and then none of them are about them because they're just constantly knifing them with their aura. You have to wait for that invitation. You have to master a system. You have to be recognized. You have to do something that gets their attention. I would describe it as almost like the male bird. The male bird doesn't just attack the female bird. He builds a nest. Or he gets, all fluttered up and sings the greatest song. Play some music. Music is a great way to get an invitation. You just have to figure it out. It's a law of nature, almost like the generators of the female bird and the projectors are the male bird building the nest and collecting the things that shine. It's not our fault, it's our nature. And it's also not our fault to just sit there and sing out loud and the females run away. You have to figure, and if it's a manifester, if you're actually into human design, it's a manifester, they don't need advice. So recognize when you're talking to a manifester too, especially if you get into human design. If it's a manifester, just let them talk, let them be there, let them be. They're here not to be told what to do. You're not here to be told what to do either, actually. A lot of generators are like here to know thyself. They're here to be meditate and understand their energy and to find enlightenment. Well, projectors are like the bodhisattvas, if you know what that is. It's like someone who found enlightenment and came back to help the human race, humanity. And their job here is to collect students to become another bodhisattva. Projectors are the same way. We're here to build, we're leaders here to lead from behind. And you have to be careful because one of the things that could happen to a projector, especially if they get wrapped up with a lot of generators, is they could become super slaves. You're here to tell the best way to do something, not to go and do it. It's okay to be part of the team. Don't be full-fledged lazy. I mean, we're all humans. We all have hands and they ain't broke. But recognize when your energy gets low. Now, for a projector, sleep is a huge thing. For me, I go days without sleep sometimes. It's a huge thing. One of the best ways is to find yourself alone. I know it feels weird because we're humans. We all just want to be close to other humans, especially if you have a significant other or, a pet or, something. But to get the best sleep, that's the adequate sleep, is to sleep alone. And to about an hour before you go to sleep, start to go to sleep. Turn off the TV. Get away from your phone. Read a book. Just unwind. Generators are like, you can pull the plug out of them. They're out. Projectors aren't quite like that. We're not energy beings. We don't know how to recognize when our energy is gone or there. And if you're sleeping next to a generator, you're tapped into a buzz. Bzzz. I've dated a lot of generators, and I could not sleep for the life of me next to them. It was just like all night long, and then they'd wake up all fully refreshed, and I'm like, morning. And they don't understand you, nor are they here to try. Generators or manifestors are not here to understand a projector, and you're not here to really be understood. You're here to be recognized. You see things much different than the world if you're a projector or if you have a projector friend. It's a different universe. Generators are physical. They're all physical. I'll be reading people's charts as a projector, and when I find a generator, I almost go, hey, will you hand me that? They're like, oh yeah, like they just got to do something with their hands. When it's a projector, I just kind of understand them. Now we're on the same plane. If I find it to be a projector, and this is for you generators that have projector friends that you're watching this video for, when they speak, just listen to them. It's kind of the feminine thing on this side, It might be the masculine thing with a bird, but when it comes to like listening, they have like a quirk inside them that, I just need to give advice and you need to listen. And that's the best thing you can do for your projector friends. Just kind of listen. Sometimes they go on and on, but it's usually gold. A lot of times, if it's not invited, it's trash. It just sounds like a coyote in a trash compactor coming at you. But if it's invited and you need the advice and you need someone to give you advice, bam. They're the person to go to lead, guide, and direct your energy if you're lost. You can also, if you're a generator, you can go to a manifestor. They'll they'll put your ass to work. It's kind of what their job is to lead, guide, and direct energy, but not be told what to do. So if you're a projector, don't forget to, I'm going to keep it a little bit brief on this video. I like going into projector because I'm a projector, and I like helping other projectors because I found that I'm not lazy. My dad and my brother, who were generators, thought I was lazy because I wasn't good at digging ditches. I wasn't good at pulling wire. It wasn't that I wasn't good, I just wasn't into it. But also, I've written a bunch of books. I do a bunch of videos. I've made documentaries and such. So, and that is Japanese to them. They don't, I mean, they read books, they watch documentaries. So you can kind of see the correlation of how a projector gets a generator's attention. You know, I would make a documentary that's about something a generator likes, and then just kind of show it to them when invited, and then I got their attention, so that you could kind of do spiritual surgery on them with your knife aura, even through your arts. So if you are a projector, you're not lazy. You just need to find that thing that you need to focus what little energy you have, because you're not like a generator. Generators have just, they're gasoline. Like I said, you got to find where to put that steering wheel. You got to find where to lead, guide, and direct the generators once you're invited by them because you were recognized. So there's a kind of like a trifecta thing that has to happen. So in the meantime, while waiting for the invitation or waiting to be recognized, master something. Do something that makes you shine, because that's what you're here to do. You're not here to work, you're here to shine, you're here to play. You're here to have fun. Generators, they're here to have fun and shine too, but they're also here to work hard. And that's their purpose. A bee is here to fly, an ant is here to crawl. Projectors are here to shine and give advice once invited, once recognized. Don't forget, find that thing that you love and that will make others recognize you. So that's finding your system. And then you'll find your success through that. And just your success is usually from helping the other, usually a generator. So hope you guys liked that video. If there's any questions, comment below, subscribe, all the fun stuff. You guys have a great day. Wait for the invitation. Find your system for your recognition.